with the style of trading that I have, I know when to look at the charts. And I've talked about all those different multiple time frame charts. Like the daily charts, I always look at the daily charts changeover from a trading point of view. It's 5 p.m. New York time. Doesn't matter, where you live in the world. It's 5 p.m. New York time. The great thing is, at that time, I also scan through the 12-hour, the 8-hour, and the 6-hour charts. And so I can do all that in 10, 15 minutes, done. And I can make my assessments of what trades I'm taking. And then 12 hours later, 5 a.m. New York time, I'll look through, because it's then the European time, I'll look through the 2-hour, 4, 6, and 12-hour charts, and we'll scan through again another 10, 15 minutes. And I could trade quite happily in just looking at twice a day. Some people trade a couple other chart changeovers. Not everybody can make those two exactly, of course. And that's another beauty of using limit orders. You don't have to be there at that exact time. If you think about that 5 p.m. New York time, I don't take any trades until 6 p.m. because the spreads are too big. That first hour of the day, the spreads can be quite horrendous at times of the day and at that time of the day. So I don't take anything. I'll put my orders on after that. But yeah, it's, when it is, I'm quite fortunate here in New Zealand that that's my morning and my nighttime. So the 5 a.m. changeover for me ranges between 9 and 11 at night, depending on the time of year and clock changeovers, summer and winter, etc. So it kind of gives me that, that daytime to be able to go and do things like that as well.
They can be around. Like, my son can watch me trade. He can be in my lap. They can watch the screen. They can see what I'm doing. I can tell my wife, if she's making breakfast or whatever, market opens at 7:30 in Utah. So she's waking up around 8:30 type of thing. So I'll get up at 6, do some stuff, trade from like 7:15 to 9-ish, give or take. And if she's cooking, I'm trading, I'll tell her what I'm doing. Hey, I'm gonna short Tesla, entries here, stops here, targets here. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Let me know how it goes. Oh, hey, I lost money. Hey, awesome. Great job. Following your plan. Like you said what you're gonna do. You did what you said you're gonna do. That creates integrity. People trust people that have integrity. Say what you're gonna do what you're gonna say. Hey, I'm gonna go long Tesla. I just lost $6,000. I'm gonna do my best to make $8,000 in this trade, make a net $2,000 of profit overall in the day. Awesome, cool, boom, 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 boom. Hey, trade worked. Hey, great job following your plan. Even if the trade would have lost, it wouldn't matter. It's a discussion.
I have morning routines that I do, not necessarily affirmations as, a lot of people do. I don't really do affirmations. I do meditations, but more guided meditations, where I'm basically directing my mind after I bring it down to a certain level of frequency. So what that basically means when I say frequency is there is different states in your mind when you're wide awake, when you're partially asleep. When you wake up in the middle of the night and then you feel like you're awake, but you're not really awake. I like to get the brain down to that frequency, because that's the frequency where I look at it like you can reprogram who you are. You can reprogram your identity at that level. You try to do it when you're awake, it's basically, hitting your head against the wall. Like, you have so many habits that's developed as you're a kid through society, family, friends, culture, that if you go to change that, it's not going to work. You got to go deep inside and subconsciously rewire it. So I like to bring it down to that level, see myself trading, visualize days going really fantastic. I'm looking at trades better than anybody else on the planet, picking out fantastic trades and then trading them with sizes of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 lots. So just massive, massive growth, as if it's already happened rather than it should happen.
One thing I do outside of trading to stay on top of things is I go to the gym. So over the past couple of years, I've started to get a routine when I go to the gym, and it really helps me, get the blood pumping, get out of my head. It's almost a meditative moment for me to be in the gym. And actually, I've had a lot of ideas come up to me while I'm in the gym.
I get asked this a lot. I've only got Tuesdays and Thursdays that I could trade. What do you recommend? Well, it's all down to, what are you trading? Does that strategy need you to be trading 4 consistent mornings, 4 consistent days? You're picking a Tuesday and a Thursday. You've got to know that data-wise, you need to go and test that to see if there's actually an edge to that. And like you said, a lot of traders, they aren't even that consistent. And like you said, oh, I just feel like trading today. I'm like, you're kind of stacking the odds in your favor. I would be more for that trader ditching that and saying, right, I'm going to employ a swing trading system instead of saying, oh, I've got Tuesday afternoon free. I'm going to go and trade. Yeah, it screws up their P&L. I'm dead against that sort of thing because you're fighting the odds. Most strategies that are consistent over the long term require the trader to be consistent in the application, and little windows of opportunity. I think you're creating a false expectation because you could come down, trade for that hour or 2 hours, and smash it out the park, and then you think that's going to be the norm. So yeah, I'm not keen either. There's a lot of stuff in the trading and personal development space about morning routines. For me, the first thing I do when I get up is I check my possible trade list. It's the first thing I do. I don't have a coffee. I don't go and meditate. I don't do any of that. First off, I check my trades because that's the number one priority for me. Then I might just chill with Sarah for half an hour because we want to catch up. I might go take the dogs for a walk. But my non-negotiable, which again, I don't do every single time, but I'm pretty effective 95% of the time. During the week, first thing I do in the morning, check my possible trades. The last thing I do at night. So then I've covered any order amendments that need to happen, any analysis, and then everything else is time blocked. So for me, that is key. And I actually think as a swing trader, I've seen this before with traders, is swing traders, less is more. And I think no matter how much you're doing, a good question to ask is, could I be doing a little bit less? Because the tendency is to try and control things. And if you're a swing trader, you don't know whether you're going to be in that trade for 2 days, 2 weeks, possibly longer. And a lot of the time, you sitting there staring at it as a swing trader is only going to make things worse. Now, a day trader different. You may require you to sit solely in front of your screens. You might not be using automated entries or robots. So with that in mind, then again, you've got to time block that. I think also a lot of people will not let other people or circumstances around them know what they're doing. So one of the challenges I have with some of the students is they intend to go and backtest an idea or a strategy they've got, and in their head they block out 5 hours on a Saturday to do it, but they don't tell their partner, their wife, that that's what they want to do. And then invariably something else crops up. They have other commitments. So not just blocking it out on your diary, but letting other people know that it's important. And then they'll often act then as the people that hold you accountable. Because when you're then not doing what you should be, they were like, I thought you said you're doing your analysis or doing your reviews. So that for me has helped my organization.
Just walk a lot. I actually like the steps thing. There's a lot of people that kind of hate on it a little bit, but I feel like if you get 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day, you're going to be at a caloric medium, right? You eat 3,000 calories. If you eat less, like again, 1,800, great. But if you eat 3,000 and you do 15,000 steps, at least you're going to be baselining. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to gain weight. That's a good number. And 15,000 steps is around 6 miles, 5 miles, give or take. So that's easy, man. Just move more, right? Get out and just get out. Because like when you're walking, when you're jogging, when you're getting outside, you're going to get ideas also. And you can walk with your phone. I love walking with my phone. It's one of my favorite things. I get on my phone, make phone calls, I get charts. So yeah, man, just get out, like enjoy. You can be on your phone. It's okay. Like you don't have to always be disconnected from life. You can be in some things and get things done. I'm not like a nomad monk.
When you're managing other people's money, my perception, at least for me personally, was there was actually more pressure to change things. Because when the system is losing money, you're getting calls from clients complaining and saying, well, what are you going to do about this? The correct answer is nothing. Clients don't like that. They will like, no. So there must be something you should be doing about this. Because most clients don't have a real understanding of this particular issue, as I've just described to you. So even if you personally know the theory and know the maths and appreciate that, when you've got people calling you up complaining, you're going to feel under pressure to do something. Because I'm now in a place where it's just my own money, I don't have anyone ringing up complaining. I can do what I believe is correct. What I believe is correct for me personally and for the sort of systems I'm trading is to change things as little as possible, and to look at performance occasionally, but not to make changes as a result of that. And the analogy I like to use is like when you learn to ride a bike, a pedal bike, you have training wheels on normally. And those wheels protect you from kind of falling over until you get your balance right, and then you're cycling okay. And then when you're kind of confident enough, you can take the wheels off. So if you start trading with a trading system, if it's a well-designed system, then it's going to protect you from doing anything stupid, like over trading, putting on too much leverage, and so on and so forth.
I've got a daily checklist that I run through. So I look at all of the major markets. I look at the major commodities, things like the dollar yen, Aussie dollar, Aussie yen. I'll look at things like gold and oil in major commodities markets. I'll look at what bonds are doing, 30-year bonds, 10-year bonds, 2-year notes. I'll look at things like what high yield bonds are doing, what high grade bonds are doing. I'll look at things like the VIX, the put call ratio, and looking at all of these things, the advanced decline line, market breadth. I can build a risk dashboard, if you like, in terms of how convinced am I that the market's going to go up, the market's going to go down, or the market's going to be choppy. And then I compare that with what I'm actually seeing on the charts. And what I'm looking for is alignment. All right. If the macro indicators I'm looking at are all kind of saying, things are looking bullish here, and I'm seeing bullish technical setups, that's when I know I want to start pressing my bets a little bit harder. But if I'm seeing a really mixed macro picture, or even a bearish macro picture against bullish technicals, I will still trade the chart in front of me. All right, I will still look at bullish setups if that's what I'm seeing in the charts, but I'll be taking smaller positions and fewer positions, and I'll be ready to reverse if those macro signals are sending me warning signs. Something that I have to wrestle with myself, I have a tendency to overtrade. So it's a little battle that I do fight with myself, but I just always remind myself that what I don't own can't hurt me. All right. And again, it's putting that risk manager's hat on. And is this really something that am I prepared to risk this amount of money on this setup? Is this setup really compelling enough? And not focusing on how much money I think I'm going to make, but on how much money I really could lose. And when you put that risk manager's hat on, I think you become a lot more particular and fussy about the setups that you'll take. And really, you want to start seeing all of the boxes on your checklist getting ticked, rather than just 2 or 3 of them.